Beekeeping can be a lot of fun. It's very important, but it is a big responsibility. As soon as you take those bugs and you put them in that box, you immediately take upon yourself a responsibility and a stewardship over their management. Ian Stepper recently joined our Stream Team Beekeeping chat and discussed the importance of honeybee husbandry. I hope you enjoy another Stream Team Nugget.
I'm gonna kind of deflect towards something else. The importance of maintaining the husbandry of our hives, and this could lead very easily down to a very, very deep rabbit hole. But I'm a farmer. I raise cattle, a grain farmer, raise honeybees. We look after the husbandry within our entire operation, and I just don't understand why beekeepers don't follow the same mindset. Like I wouldn't, and it really bothers me because I don't understand. A beekeeper will sit there as a treatment-free beekeeper, and he'll just let the colony die, just on the philosophy of treatment-free beekeeping. That is absolutely irresponsible beekeeping. I had beekeeper neighbors do that, and it just affects absolutely everybody around you. And it's not, if you want to be a treatment-free beekeeper, and if you want to kind of follow that philosophy or such, if you find a colony that's running into trouble, get rid of it, kill it off. Don't allow it just to infect everything else in the countryside. Yeah, I can't say that enough. And we need to look after our husbandry. And we can involve breeding efforts to do with natural selection if we want. We just monitor. So we have to monitor. We had to observe which ones are tolerating or resisting, or we don't even need to know how they're doing it, what mechanism, just noticing the ones that seem to be managing these mites a little bit more effectively without treatments. We can focus on those, and all those other ones are starting to escalate to turn into a bomb. Just drop a ton of formic into those colonies, kill those mites off, and propagate the queens across them, and just try to maintain the development of the genetic diversity within that pool instead of this polluted pool of mites, right? We're talking about breeding for mites and this looking for this holy grail. I would like to see a little bit more responsible management around that, because if it gets out of control, you're just affecting everybody else around you negatively, and we're not making any headway that way.
Like I said earlier, I mean, I've been following you for a little while, and I appreciate when you say supplements, and I can sit here and I can Google this and that and whatever, and I can throw it in, and there's no magic tool out there. You have to identify what's the purpose. Why are you using these supplements? What do you want out of it? What outcome? I listened to a chat that you had with Humberto. You were talking about pollen subs and supplements. When I listened to that live, I got thinking then, and I was a person who prior, back a couple of years when, I really didn't know anything about beekeeping. I still don't know anything about beekeeping, but I started looking into it, and I'm like, if Ian's sitting here talking about it, Humberto's sitting here talking about it, I started doing a little bit of research. And this year, I can say, was the first year that I kind of revamped my treatment strategy. I revamped my strategy as far as when I use supplements. And I used a supplement in my syrup. I used pollen patties. I used a fondant in the winter. And this season, at this point of the year in my area of Northeast Ohio, I have never seen populations in my colonies like I have before. So, if you look at summing up, what we just spoke about, hitting your colonies at a certain key moment, really, what are you using the supplement for and what outcome? The result that I've seen so far in my teeny little apiary has been outstanding. Because, there is an animal husbandry, I say, in beekeeping. I'm not one that just wants to let them go. I've somewhat gone down that road by not treating enough, and I killed them. I owned that. So changing up my strategies it's led to a point now where, like when you open up your colonies and it's like, I hear you're like, look at this nest. I opened up mine the other day and I was just like, oh my God. Again, I'll just say thank you, for your videos and all the information that you are constantly throwing out there for the community. So
yeah, I was talking to a beekeeper. I'm going to try to dig myself out of the rabbit hole I spoke about just previously, but I was talking to a beekeeper at a bee meeting yesterday, and he was asking me about nosema, and he's asking me whether or not he did the right thing. So what happened is he monitors colonies for nosema, and he brought in professional eyes also at the same time, and they determined a certain infection of nosema. They talked around the threshold, and then he followed through with the treatment. And he's asking me just from some reflection on that, whether or not he did the right thing or not. And I was like, oh, well, as myself as a beekeeper at those levels, I consider it this way, and I'd be doing it this and that. And then he was like, oh, geez, I did it all wrong. And I said, no, you didn't. I said, this is just how I manage my bees. The way you manage your bees is absolutely refreshing to me. So he's a newer beekeeper startup. He's monitoring his bees for one thing. He's looking to see, he's asking for outside help. He's trying to achieve something, and he's going to use this product to help him achieve that. I said that is going to lead you to a tremendous amount of success. Just by knowing what's going on, and then reacting with all that knowledge at your disposal. And that's what you have to do instead of just being blind treatments, blind management, and such like that. And it's a very refreshing conversation I had with them, because there's so many startup beekeepers I have that don't have that connection yet, and they need to be able to look down, read the nest, see what's going on, react, and then move forward, right? So it's all a learning process. So I'm not trying to give anybody a hard time, but just making the attempt and understanding that connection is so very important to the success of beekeepers.
Well, Ian, I think if you got time, Greg had a question, a follow-up question for you.
Well, I think I've got a whole list here of deep rabbit holes that, out of respect for the time that you've given us, and you've got some family time tonight, let's hold these off maybe for another visit, Ian. But I just wanted to thank you for really being a lighthouse to a lot of folks. You have a way of sharing your experience, what you're doing, your goals, your context, and your scale. And you're passionate about it, but you're doing it in a way that's non-judgmental, and you do it with respect to other beekeepers, which is a quality that a lot of folks who will watch this video or maybe watching right now could take lessons from. I appreciate you and your message and how you share with folks. And one of the big takeaways from tonight is that while there might be something that could be a force multiplier for you, for your bees, for your operation, the why matters, scale matters. And tuning into the bees and learning to read the brood nest, read the bees, to learn what they need is more important than just throwing the kitchen sink of things at them in an effort to try to keep them alive. So I just wanted to thank you for what you do, and looking forward to maybe in the future going down some of these rabbit holes here.
Well, that's very refreshing to hear you summarize that, because that was kind of what I was trying to get across with my rambling meandering comments here, is exactly that. Yeah, so very important to the success of beekeepers.
We really enjoyed having Ian on that evening as he discussed several topics. And I thought that this topic of honeybee husbandry was very important, because once you put those bees in the box, it is a responsibility. If you treat the bees right, if you learn how to properly manage them, then you'll be rewarded. You'll have success and you'll be able to achieve your goals. Whereas if you just let the bees fend for themselves, you're probably going to experience some heartache and loss. So I think it's very important to learn your bees, learn how to read the brood, learn how to figure out what they're doing, and how to treat different situations that you run into. And it could be a very joyful and awesome experience for you. If you'd like to see more of these Stream Team videos, we do them every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We rotate them through our channels here at Bruce's Bees, also on Greg's channel at Nature's Image Farm, as well as Brian's channel at Castle Hives. I plan to put more of these little clips from these live streams in the playlist here on this channel called Stream Team Nuggets. So if you subscribe to the channel, that would be great. If you want to watch the full length video that we have with Ian and where he discussed several different topics, you can watch that video right here. Y'all take care, be safe, and we'll catch you on the next one.